What's going on, guys? JPB Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday. And for today's matchup, I'm bringing you a PrankKids versus a SwordSoul gameplay with my opponent playing SwordSoul going first. Now, this is by no means a good hand to start going second. It's probably not a good hand going first either, but still you could make plays with Polly going to Butler. Now, my opponent is playing SwordSoul. Obviously, he's going to put the Baron on the field, and then he's going to put the Grandmaster on the field as well. I was expecting him to only have Baron plus Grandmaster on the field, plus maybe a couple of back row sets in the form of Blackout plus Call by the Grave, or maybe an Imperm or Forbidden Droplet, which I could have easily played around. I had the Kaiju to get rid of the Omni, use Polly, go into my Butler, and then since I am using Polly, I would not be locked into PrankKids monsters only. That means I could have gone into my access code combo, maybe OTK'd my opponent that turn itself. Sadly, my opponent had a combo extension in the form of the Summit, as you guys already saw. He uses it, puts the Moye from the graveyard onto the field, gets a token, and obviously it's gonna be Dragite. So Dragite, as long as you have a water monster in the graveyard, acts as a spell trap negate. He even uses SwordSoul Emergence to search for a Protos. But over here, he does a misplay. I'm pretty sure my opponent did not know how Dragite works. He activated it, and if he flipped over any Earth, he would have been forced to bounce his own monsters. So pretty huge misplay on my opponent's part. Sadly, he got lucky, so no Earth monster flip overs. And he sets down 2 cards, ends his turn. Now he could have gone into a Protoss Darklock, but if he did, he would have to banish the Water, Wind, and Divine in his graveyard. That means he would not have the spell trap negate in the form of the Dragite on the field. So pros and cons to the play. He chose not to do it, that's on him now. Draw phase, we draw into a Call by the Grave. Now, you guys watching this, in the comment section below, let me know what can I do with my current hand so that at the end of my whole thing, the only card he will have left on the field will be the Kaiju I give him. That is exactly what I did. Granted, my opponent did misplay, but still, let's see the combo. First of all, we Kaiju the Baron, get rid of the Omni, Call by the Grave the Water monster, so he cannot use the Dragite to negate our polymerization play. Polly goes into Butler, and I will be basically, with this, playing around my opponent's Call by the Grave if he has a Call by the Grave set on the field, and Ash Blossom. So it turns out he did have a Call by the Grave in his hand. We completely played around the Call by the Grave. I could still go into my Diddle-Doo, and I know that my opponent will negate my Diddle-Doo search, but if he does that, I will be forced to probably pop my Butler to pop his field. That was the play I had mapped out in my head. So we start going into our combo. I cannot activate Roxy's because I do not have a card in my hand to banish. Now right here, my opponent uses the Grandmaster to negate my Butler. That means my Diddle-Doo's search goes through. And with the Diddle-Doo search, we search for our PrankKids pranks. Mind you, I have not used up my normal summon yet. I still have my normal summon. I did all this with just spell cards. So I activate Diddle-Doo, target 2 PrankKids monsters in the graveyard, add them to my hand, normal one, discard the other with my pranks, get a token, and you guys already know what this play is going to be. It is our Predaplan play into our DPE. Now mind you, if this card was an Imperm, this could have been really bad for us. If he just Imperms my Predaplant, I will be forced to go into battle phase, kill this card off, and it's not going to be that great of a play. So right here, let me pause. We get our DPE on the field, I go into battle phase. But once I'm done with the battle phase, you guys will see the mistake my opponent did. We have to get rid of the Dragite and the Grandmaster. Why? Because Dragite's active can flip over 5, and if he flips over a rock, he could bounce cards on the field equal to the number of amount he flipped the rock over. Secondly, the Grandmaster. That serves as a face-up monster negate on the field. Have to get rid of it. So we got rid of those 2. Then I activate DPE, pop my Predaplant, and pop the back row. I was more worried about the back row than the Kaiju. Now, the back row set was the Imperm. He could have Impermed me on 2 different monsters. in my combo. He could have impermed my doodle-doo, he could have impermed my prayer plant, which would have completely ruined my play, but he chose not to do it. So huge misplay on my opponent's part right there. And because of that, we get the full board wipe. Even his Baron is gone. This is the card I gave him. Not to worry about this. I end my turn, activate Pranks, recycle 3, and draw into a Raigeki. Really good card to draw into for my next turn as well. So let's go. He activates Harpies. Not too worried about that. He's only getting rid of Pranks. We don't care about it. He is forced to normal out an Ash Blossom in his hand. We use Butler's first pop, get rid of it. Then he goes into Proto's Dark Lock. That means on my next turn, if I draw into a combo starter card, I cannot go into Nightmare or Access Code because I am Dark Locked. Also, I'm not too worried about his card in his hand because I know that card is a Longyan, which he added in his turn 1 using the Atara. So not worried about hand traps either. Now we set down 2 cards that we have in our hand, activate the Celestials, Pot of Greed draw. I draw into my combo starter card. Also, I have an insurance for my next turn as well in the form of the Maxi I drew into. So pretty good draws. We go into our combo, activate, go into Doodle-Doo. Over here, I know I cannot go into Dark Monsters. So what do I search for? I search for my PrankKids plays. I have to somehow get rid of the Protos on the field. So activate Pranks, search for a card, activate Doodle-Doo, target the Pranks plus the Pandemonium in the graveyard, add them to my hand. With this Pandemonium, we will be going into Rocket Ride. And since Rocket Ride is a fusion monster, our PrankKids plays will activate, which will give our monsters 500 extra attack. That means my Butler can get rid of this Protoss on the field. And for my opponent's next turn, he will only be having a Longyan in his hand plus whatever he draws into. My opponent already knows what's going to happen, so he surrenders outright, does not want to play the game at all whatsoever afterwards. That's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily pranking video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBDuel signing out for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!